Hey everyone, Gary Delicium's back with my CD collection update video, part 38. It's been literally 9 months since my last video. I want to apologize for that. Those of you who have been waiting, I want to thank you for being patient. I want to thank all my subscribers, new and old. Special shout out to Liam, who I just, messaged through Facebook on my newest page that he commented on. It's called Gary's Music Files, brand new Instagram page that I just started today. It's going to showcase a lot of my music collection, mostly CDs. I'm going to put some music history, some trivia, some facts up there. So if you're interested, please head over to Instagram, follow at Gary's Music Files. And then again, my channel, like, subscribe, please. Helps me, gives me some motivation. I've been a little busy these past couple months, so I apologize. Again, I know I always say this, but I gotta get the ball rolling. I gotta get more music videos out there. So today's collection is a pretty lengthy one. I figured you guys deserve it since I've been away for so long. I have a huge CD haul from thrift stores, believe it or not. I've lucked out and I've found a lot of stuff from thrift stores. A lot of really cool stuff. It's pretty heavy on 90s, which I've been on a 90s kick again, so you're gonna see all that. And we're gonna rate this video, and I'm going to stop boring you guys. First up, L7, the debut album, just called L7, from 1988, released on Epitaph Records. Not the best cover. I mean, a cool shot, but, going into it, especially back in 88, going into a shop, you had no clue what this was. Very, punk for the time. And next up, we have L7 Slap Happy. This is a 98-99 release. It's a little fuzzy there. Some places say it was released in 98. Some say it was released in 99. Album cover is much cooler than their first one. I always like the pink and black contrast on there. Really cool stuff. This was, I believe, one of their last albums up until about 2019. Now there we got a little 70s glam rock band, Roxy Music with Flesh and Blood. Of course, great band fronted by Brian Ferry. Brian Eno was not in the band at this time, but he started with Brian Ferry on Roxy Music. Really cool stuff there. I've been getting into Roxy Music a lot more lately. I've always kind of been like a greatest hits, listening to, songs here and there. I've always owned Avalon, but recently I've been getting to more of Roxy Music, especially like Country Life, their debut, Manifesto, some of those albums. So really good stuff. I'm glad I found that. Next, giving back to the 90s vibe, White Town, Women in Technology. For those of you who be like, hey, that sounds familiar, or those of you who don't know, they had the hit single, Your Woman, which is kind of hard to describe. It's the music, it's definitely electronic. Guys, a really cool beat behind it. Good stuff. This is actually a one-man project, White Town, and it's very interesting. I kind of feel like it could have been a big influence on the Gorillaz with, not as much rap. That's how I would describe it for those of you that are, unsure. If you have a better description, leave in the comments. I'd love to read it. Next, we got a little bit of country. Willie Nelson and Friends, Live and Kickin'. This is from 2003. A lot of big names on here. We have Eric Clapton, Shania Twain, Paul Simon, Toby Keith, rest in peace. Elvis Costello is on here. Wyclef Jean, John Mellencamp, Steven Tyler, Kenny Chesney, Ray Charles, Ray Price. You could never go wrong with a Willie album. Next up, I don't know what happened to my copy of this. I remember buying it at Sam Goody when it first came out. I remember grabbing this along with like Dirt, which was in like the bargain bin. And I was like, this was 2002. So I remember picking both of them up. I don't know what happened to my copy. Anyway, I have a new one, so I'm glad to have that. This is Jerry Cantrell, Degradation Trip. This is his second solo album featuring Mike Bordin, Robert Trujillo, those guys. Mike Bordin played with Ozzy, and so did Robert Trujillo at the time, along with Zakk Wylde. They were Ozzy's band. So 3-piece on here. Jerry, of course, sings, plays guitar. It's a decent album. Overall, I feel like nothing really stands out. Every song is kind of similar. Really good riffs, though. My favorite riff on here, the opening, was Chemical Tribe. I love that opening to that. Next up, really rare one to find out in a while, especially at a thrift store. This is Pixie, Trompe de Monde. This is a 1990 release. 91. 1991 release. This will be one of the last albums they released before they broke up. and reunited in, I believe, 2004. They reunited. They released that live DVD. Can't think of the name of it. And they would go on to, make another album after that. I don't remember what year, though. Next up, this is cool. This is something I never saw. As a lot of you know, I'm a big Rolling Stones fan, so anytime I see something Rolling Stones, I pick it up. This is called Cover You, a tribute to the Rolling Stones. You can see the artwork there is a play on Tattoo You. Even the back is green like it. Some big names on here. Just kind of a compilation of throughout the years. Otis Redding's on here with his cover of Satisfaction. Linda Ronstadt doing Tumbling Dice. Jason and the Scorchers. I don't really know who they are. 19 Nervous Breakdown. Johnny Cash doing No Expectations. That was cool. Little Richard, Brown Sugar. Leon Russell doing Wild Horses. Ike and Tina Turner, Under My Thumb. Aretha Franklin, You Can't Always Get What You Want. Charlie Sexton with Ronnie Wood, It's Not Easy. Sugar Blue, I don't know who they are. Miss You. The Searchers, Take It or Leave It. Detroit with Mitch Ryder, Gimme Shelter. Steve Earle and the Dukes, Dead Flowers Live, and Johnny Winter do a Jumpin' Jack Flash live version. Next up, this is another CD I owned back in the day. I don't know what happened to it again. This is an EP, actually. A friend of mine turned me onto this way back. This is Lexi Murdoch, 4 songs. Really, really good 4 songs. Orange Sky is my favorite on here. Those of you that want to check it out probably have heard Orange Sky before. I feel like it's been featured in movies and commercials or something like that. I never really got into anything else Lexi Murdoch did, but these 4 tracks on here, 4 songs, is a really good EP. I like it a lot. Another one I picked up, this is Public Image Limited. PIL, of course, fronted by Johnny Rotten, the band he formed after the Sex Pistols. This is, what's this called? The Greatest Hit So Far. This is a 1990, this is like a 91 release. 1990. On Virgin Records. These guys had their debut album, Metal Box. I always want to get that. I don't think I've ever found it, so I'm still on the search for that. In the meantime, I grabbed the Greatest Hits and figured I'd check it out. Next one. This one was cool. I saw it. I thought about it. I didn't pick it up, and then I went back and grabbed it. This is Melissa Etheridge. I'm Not Broken, live from Topeka Correctional Facility, which is a women's prison, similar to what Johnny Cash did at San Quentin and Folsom Prison. As you can see, we got the Sun Records label on there, so this is actually released through Sun Records, which is really cool. 2 CD live album. For those of you, there's the sun again, it's cool. For those of you that are a fan and you've not heard this, you may like it because there's a lot of storytelling from Melissa between the songs. Of course, it has the hit songs on here, Like the Way I Do, I'm the Only One, Come to My Window, so on and so on. So it was cool. I liked it a lot. She sounds really good live. Next is one that I don't think I've ever owned this, but back in the late 90s, early 2000s, new metal scene. These guys were featured on compilations. I know the Scream 3 compilation had them. It's dope. Felons and Revolutionaries. This is their debut album. Cool picture of Uncle Sam as a skeleton there. So this band is fronted by Edsel Dope, which is now the I forget what he calls himself, but he's the frontman of Static X. He wears the mask. Obviously, Wayne Static died, so he wears the mask. Similar hair to Wayne Static. And then Trip Ison, who actually went on to Static X, was featured in this band. Next one, another later release from a 90s band that was big in the late 90s, mid-late 90s, Tonic. This is called Head On Straight. This is a 2002 release. Haven't listened to this yet, so don't really... can't really talk about this yet. Of course, led by Emerson Hart. He's got a great voice, great songwriter. And here we get into the weird Todd Rundgren stuff I found. This is called Reproduction. As you can see there, we have, I don't know what that is, the Illuminati eye inside the sun, and we have microphones supposed to look like sperms reaching into it. This was weird. It's almost like disco, techno, electronic music. What is electronic music? But a lot of it is a cover songs. He does, 2 Out of 3, Bad, Dancing Barefoot, which is Patti Smith. What else was there cover on here? Love My Way from the Psychedelic Furs. Personality Crisis, of course, New York Dolls. Yeah, a lot of other Walk Like a Man is on here. What was the other song I know that was a big hit? I forget. There was another one on. It's kind of hard to read because it's like circling around. But yeah, this was weird. This is a 2011 release. I've never seen it before. I figured I'd pick it up because I have, I have a lot of Todd Rundgren from the 70s, but not some of his later stuff. So it was for 99 cents, so I'll pick it up. Another one, this is Nearly Human by Todd Rundgren. I haven't listened to this one yet. This is a 1989 release. Todd's a great producer, great songwriter, so I'm sure it's not terrible like the reproduction is. These next two, I should say three, I was pretty excited to find. Because these are, well, the first two are pretty big, notable albums from the 90s. They're not, bands with huge hit singles, but the albums are usually featured in every, greatest albums of the 90s, greatest albums of all time lists. So let's get into the first two. DJ Shadow, introducing DJ Shadow with an E, introducing, which also is cool about this for someone like me, and I'm sure a lot of us, if you're watching this video, you're like me, music nerd, is you can kind of just stare at the vinyl and pick out all the other different records you can see in there. You can always see a Dylan record, and who else? I guess I can see a Dr. Hook, The Byrds. So that's really cool. This is really cool stuff. I liked it. I always liked this. I never owned the CD. It's labeled as hip hop, but in my opinion, it's not really hip hop. There's hip hop beats. It's really kind of chill wave to it. Really cool stuff. For those of you who are not familiar, DJ Shadow, it's basically all samples. He's just a DJ. He doesn't rap or anything on there. And next up, this one I was shocked. I did a double take because I looked through the shelf and this was on the bottom. And then before I left, I said, let me do one more look. And I saw it. I couldn't believe it was there. Bandwagon-esque from Teenage Fan Club. Awesome album. 1991 release. Again, I'm sure if you've ever read a book about the greatest sounds of the 90s, this is in there. So excited to find this. And this one is going to be basically kind of unheard of to a lot of people. This is Kid Rock's debut. Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast. Now, it's not horrible. It's not great. I put it on, and I knew it wasn't good, but then again, I couldn't turn it off. You wouldn't kind of know it was Kid Rock. He sounds totally different. He was 19 here. What do you see this picture of him? Doing what he does best in his album covers, giving you the finger. Look at that hair. It's just basically just a rap album. There's no singing, no guitars, nothing like Devil Without a Cause whatsoever. So this was kind of cool to find. This is really rare and out of print, so happy with that one. Let me scooch these over a little further. Next up, we have another EP. This time it's House Storm. This is Reanimate, the covers EP. 6 songs in here. We got Dissident Aggressor, Get Lucky, Shoot to Thrill, Hell is for Children, Gold Dust Woman, and 1996. Of course, 1996 is by Marilyn Manson, Gold Dust Woman by Fleetwood Mac, Hell is for Children. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. Pat Benatar. Shoot to Thrill, obviously AC/DC. Get Lucky is Daft Punk, what's his name? Pharrell Williams, that song. And of course, Dissident Aggressor, the Judas Priest cover. Some early David Gray. This is A Century Ends. This is from 1993 for his breakthrough, Babylon. That song, Babylon, was his breakthrough. It's probably really the only way you know of David Gray. That was a huge song for him. This was actually not from the thrift store. This is new. This is Grateful Dead, Duke 78. This is a 3-disc album. Recorded on April 12th, 1978 at Duke University, of course. The trifold there. I'm sorry. Folds 4 there. There's a nice essay in there. 22 tracks altogether. Because if you want to pause it, too many to name. This video's already kind of running a little long. This was also new. This is U2 Zoo TV Live in Dublin in 1993 EP. I thought the cover was cool. It was cool to see these slim import singles back in CD stores again, even though this is the only one I found. 5 songs on here recorded in Dublin from August 93. Zoo Station, Mysterious Ways, Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World, Stay, and Love is Blindness. This is available for the first time on CD, apparently. And here we have the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. I believe this is 1969 release. Doesn't say. Or 1970, somewhere around there. Yeah, I forget. Anyway, Gorilla. Really good album by them. For those of you that are unfamiliar with them, definitely go check them out. It's abbreviated to Bonzo Dog Band. But this is really cool stuff. I like it. Very underrated band from that era. Another one by David Gray, we have Flesh. This is a 1994 release. This is the follow-up to A Century Ends. Nice English acoustic, a little bit electronic into it. And you're getting some more back in the 90s with some more grunge. My Brother the Cow by Mudhoney. Mudhoney, they one of the only true grunge bands that never really changed their sound. Still around kicking today. I remember I saw them live in, I'm going to say 2019. Like probably this time, about 2019. Can't believe it's been 5 years ago. I'm just going to put these over here. Then we got Chick Corea, Return to Forever, Light as a Feather. Some really cool jazz fusion here. Really cool stuff. Love it. 2 more new releases, brand new releases, metal stuff this time. Bring Me the Horizon. This is Post-Human, Next Gen. I don't really like the album cover, but whatever. It was cheap. I bought it. It was on sale. I haven't listened to this yet, but I was curious after the death of Trevor. This is the follow-up, the first album since the death of Trevor. This is Black Dahlia Murder. This is called Servitude. You know, it looks familiar to most of their other album covers. Except for that Miasma, which is just... I actually met Trevor once, and I asked him, I was like, what's up with that cover of Miasma? And he just didn't know. He just laughed at me. He was a cool dude. It was kind of sad that he died. Not kind of sad, obviously. Just really sad. Mahavishnu Orchestra, actually featuring John McLaughlin. This is Visions of the Emerald Beyond. Another great jazz fusion album. This one I picked up because I'm a big fan of this band. They're known as a one-hit wonder, but their one hit is actually one of my least favorite songs by them. Blind Melon. This is a classic masters. I usually don't buy like generic compilations like this, but for Blind Melon to have one, I thought it was pretty cool. And this is actually the CD that really got me into Blind Melon, besides their debut album, because it featured stuff from Soup and Nico, and I kind of really got into the band through that way. Next up, we have another from Mahavishnu Orchestra. This is called the Lost Trident Sessions. It was a 1973 album that they recorded, and apparently never released until this CD. It's pretty cool stuff. I like it. It's more jazz fusion, a lot more jammier on what would be side 1 if it was released on vinyl. Well, I don't know if it's released on vinyl. Anyway, it wasn't 73. First 2 songs really cool and jammy. Good stuff. I love this a lot. And 2 more are last 2, I should say, or 2 more from Todd Rundgren that I picked up. This is Arena. Horrible album cover. What are you doing, Todd? Put a shirt on. This is a 2008 release. So Todd's up there, like, you know, he's in his 50s, probably late 50s, so put a shirt on. This one's called Up Against It. This is a Japanese pressing. It's got the booklet in English, got a booklet in Japanese, then it has lyrics in English, has the lyrics in Japanese. So this was actually really cool and kind of really rare since this is Japanese pressing. I do have that, what's it called, the Ovi strip, I forget what the strip's called, I'm drawing a blank, inside the booklet. So it's cool to have that, as most Japanese pressings have. All right, everyone. That was a lot for me to talk about. I know I made this video in a while, so again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like this video, comment, whatever you want to do. And again, if you're interested, please go follow my new Instagram page at Gary's Music Files, where I will be posting a lot more of my CD and music collection, along with history and music facts. And again, thanks for watching. To have another collection pickup that I did right after this, which is enough for a video. So should be doing that within the next day or two. So thanks for watching. See you next time.